Okay, all right. So, good afternoon, everyone who is present here. I am Vaishali Mukherjee, and I am a peer education volunteer at Pratisandhi. And today's session is about child sexual abuse prevention and awareness. Today we have our guest speaker, Mrs. Bhavi Kaur Dhillon, who is a mom influencer and whose life has been into growing into a woman with zeal and balance in both her professional and personal lives, along with two kids. She has been a very active personality to provide sexual education to everyone and agrees that good sexual health is extremely important and definitely a requirement in today's society. So, being a mother, she enthusiastically participates in all the diverse thoughts of her kids, and thus, we would like to introduce her as our facilitator today for today's session for the Parents Guide as part of the Sacred Project for the Urban Digital Parents. Ma'am, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Vaishali. Thank you so much. And welcome everybody. So today's session is about child sexual abuse, and let's start with that. So we'll be sharing the screen with you. So what is exactly, if you ask me, child sexual abuse is? So we'll talk about what is exact, like child sexual abuse is a larger term, right? It's a lot more about what is a child go through or whatever. So we'll go through the slides and I'll explain you side by side and how it goes, because it's a larger term. We just say child sexual abuse, just a small, it's not a small term. It's got a lot to it. It's not just about penetration or a small thing. It's a big term, it's a larger view. And we have to make sure that being parents, we create a safe space for our kids. So Vaishali, can we go further? Okay, so child sexual abuse, if we take as a larger term, it has a lot many things. It's not just penetration. It can be a non-penetrative thing also. It can be fondling. It could be oral sex, or it could be masturbation, and also displaying of the private parts to the kids, or putting kids under the unlawful sexual practice or child pornography. So there are a lot many terms if we talk about. It's not just one thing, that's penetration. It's a lot more. If you are exposing any genitals or anything to the kids, it is considered as child sexual abuse. If you're fondling with any of the genitals, breast, buttocks, any etc., it is again child sexual abuse. Oral sex with the child, putting your genitals in the child's mouth or doing anything of such, is also a child sexual abuse. Masturbating with the child, displaying the exploitative use of child in prostitution or any other unfull lawful sexual practice is child abuse. So if we consider child sexual abuse just a penetration, no, it's a larger term and we have to look at like that. We can't just say that if we are doing if somebody is having a penetrative sex, that's the child sexual abuse. No, we have to go through so many things, like child as this, all whatever we are having here with the points we are covering, this all comes under it, and so we'll go more about it. So there are a lot of myths. Vaishali, can we go next? Yeah, there are a lot of myths and facts and everything under this. So if we say that there is a abuse is usually by the stranger, no. So in a 95% of the time, the abuser is your known. Is abuser is known by the victim. Victim knows the abuser. 95% of the time, child have the abuser in the nearby vicinity, be it family, be it friends, be at school. So there are lot many chances in this manner that we have abuser nearby. So we have to make sure that how our child is protected in all the manners. Incest is not common among civilized people. Again, this is a very important thing. Incest happens in the families, irrespective of their religion, nationality, class, economic status, race, anything. That's the sad part, that incest is happening in any part of the family or any part of the thing. It's not that I am rich, so I want my child is safe. No, we have to create a space, safe space for our kids, and that's at our home, if we say, because we can't say that it is happening only in the lower class, middle, or somebody who's of certain religion or some economic status. No, it can happen to anybody, anywhere. It's just how we protect our child. Sexual abuse has never happened and the child is making this up. Now, this is a very, very important question, very important statement, because as parents, sometimes we think that our child is making things up. As parents, we actually feel that, oh, this kid, something must have happened. Somebody have just touched and my kid has taken it wrong way. This is a very common thing to think, because we think that, oh no, such that family member or that friend can't do this. So we actually ignore this thing, or we actually don't get what our kids are going through. This happens a lot, many times. Being a parent, I can say that we actually don't, at times we just shove it off under the carpet, that no, you don't understand, or it must have been a love touch, you took it wrong way. We actually ignore these things because of that we don't want to come out to the public, or we believe in that certain person, certain family member so much that that person can't do this. So firstly, we have to make sure that what child is saying, we have to listen to it and then go forward. We can't just get over with, okay, the child is making this up. This happens a lot, many times, I must say. So next is, no damage is done by sexual abuse if the child has not been physically harmed. Okay, now this is a by far very much bigger thing. If you say that no damage is done by sexual abuse, no, only pregnancy or sexual transmitted infections and genital trauma may be the physical results, but lot more emotional damage is done to the kid. A child who has been abused suffers lot more trauma, psychological trauma. Or if we consider that, oh, the child is not pregnant, or no STI, sexual transmitted infection has happened, so this is normal. No, because the emotional psychological trauma a kid goes through is very much affecting them in long term. See, pregnant the physical aspects we can treat them, but the emotional trauma, psychological, what have they gone through, what is there in their mind, that is, these all these are the long term things, and this is very important. We can't just think that, oh, no physical damage has happened, we can let go the thing. That doesn't happen. It doesn't work like this. If you say all homosexual men molest and abuse. Now, okay, so if I say I have so many homosexual men around me, being my friends, and it is a myth going around in the world that all homosexual men molest and abuse young boys. No, it doesn't work like this. Sexual attraction of a man to other men is distinct from attraction to men to young boys. It's always distinct. You can't say just that every homosexual man is attracted to a young man. No, it doesn't happen like this. Just that all heterosexual men are attached to and abused to young girls. This is also like whatever we think and go ahead. It's not like that. So homosexual men have their thought process, and everybody is not running the same race. So the sexual attraction to men or to the other men is distinct from the attraction of men to young boys. Just as not at heterosexual men are attracted to and abuse young girls. Why do we use safe and unsafe touch instead of good touch and bad touch? A very good point. Why do we use safe and unsafe touch instead of, so me being a parent, I used to teach my kids that what is a good touch and a bad touch. Then I came across so many things, that what is a safe touch and what is an unsafe touch. So good and bad is a very like a very normal term we can teach to the kids, but we have to make sure that we are telling them the right thing. So psychologically, to the young child, the word implies that bad touch has made them feel bad too. The shame generated by having experienced a bad touch gets added to the extent guilt and shame from the abuse. I'm bad because I'm touched. No, that doesn't happen like that. When a child experiences a bad touch, though the bad touch does not make them bad, but they feel that, okay, they have gone through a bad touch, now they are bad, right? A tendency is for the child to feel bad, and they are bad because of the bad touch. They actually think this. So we have to use the correct terms to explain our kids. A child who has internalized that they are bad may find it extremely challenging to ever disclose and seek help. If they feel that, oh, I'm bad because I'm touched badly, so they'll never come out and tell you the real thing. They will never come and ask for help, because they'll think that I am bad, that's why it happened with me. So picking up the right words to explain our kids how to go about it is very important. Being a parent, we have to see what terms also we are using, because it's a very sensitive topic, if we say. So when we are talking to our kids, we have to pick the right vocabulary to explain them, because you don't know if my preteen son, he's 11 years old, if I tell him bad and good, so he'll be like, okay, if that person did bad to me, because so he'll think that, okay, I'm a bad boy. So it will be, he'll take everything on him. So might be he'll never come and talk to us or tell me, or he'll think that mom dad will think that I'm a bad boy. So picking up the right terms, it is very important. The words safe or unsafe do not have any relation to the body or self, but instead are external aspects of the experience. When one says that they felt unsafe, they are referring to the situation and not to themselves. The place was unsafe, or that person was unsafe to be with. So either they were at the unsafe place, or either the person they were with, they were unsafe with. So safe and unsafe are a very good terms to use when it comes to explaining your kids or talking to them or telling them. So it's like, okay, they know that this place or this guy or this person was unsafe, or this lady was unsafe. So there, the personal thing doesn't come, that they feel that, oh my God, I am bad. No. So good and bad, we have always taught them that good is like a very good thing, and you want to be a good boy, good girl, bad boy, bad girl. So it's a very important thing when we pick up any term while we are conversing with our kids. So there are different type of abuses. So we'll go ahead. Physical abuse, as we talked about, physically, you're touched, fondled, penetrative, anything. Sexual abuse, emotional abuse, very much important. Emotional and psychological abuse, that how much kid is traumatized, how much it is affected to him. And cyber abuse, yes, we get bullied, we get body shamed, we are actually out in the space where unknown faces can come up and say anything and everything to us. Causes of abuse. Okay, now taboo around discussing sex and sexuality. This is very important. Today, these days, me being a parent to teen and a preteen kids, I know that if we are not well prepared and we don't talk to our kids, it is very much difficult, because I've seen kids doing a Google search engine about what is sex and what all. So Google is a search engine. We don't get the right information, but kids think that that is the where we'll get all the information about sex and everything. So it is very important that you openly talk to your kids, tell them what is right and wrong, tell them what is there out in this space. So breaking the taboo or talking about sex and sexuality is very important, and that is parents' responsibility to do it. Tolerance to gender biased based violence. Now, this is also an important thing, that many times your gender, so genders are a lot, gender is not just male, female, it's a lot more beyond that. So that's a different topic to discuss. But again, you have to make sure that you tell your kid a broader term of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. If I say that my daughter needs to be educated, I want my son to be educated in the same way. I can't say that my daughter needs to be, oh my God, she's a daughter, so she needs to learn things. No, my son needs to learn equally. If I tell my daughter that what is meaning of consent, I tell my son also what is the meaning of consent. That he can't point a finger on any other person, with touch a finger any other person without asking for the permission. So we have to make sure that in our home safe space, we are actually telling everybody, all the kids, both the kids, boy and a girl, that it is, it has to be both the ways. I can't just teach my daughter one thing, I have to teach my son also the same thing. A culture that values adults over children. Now this is a very good question, very good point. So when we talk about abuse, and we think about abuse, we always, like kind of normal people, we say that okay, if a rape or anything has happened with an adult, that is to be reported, that is to be taken in limelight, that is to be worked on. But no, if a thing, any abuse has happened with your child also, you have to be equally active. In fact, you have to be more active. You have to report it, you have to work on it, you have to make sure that the abuser go actually learns the lesson, because it is very important. We can't take a child abuse casually, because child abuse is growing day by day in our society, and we have to work on it and stop it. We can't just let it go that okay, my child was once touched or once fondled, I can let go. No, it has to be treated and it has to be worked equally. If something happened to an adult, same way the child abuse also needs to be taken care of. So next we have signs and indicators of abuse. Okay. So there are a lot of signs and indicators when a kid goes through an abuse. There are a lot of pointers which we can observe in the kid. So physically and behavior, both are the pointers, because physically also, if a penetration happens with a young kid or very young kid who's sexually not active, many changes happen. And behaviorally, yes, it is very important that child actually goes into a trauma. They actually go into a shell. They don't want to talk to anybody. They cry whenever they want to, but they're not going to tell you the reason somehow. They fear of certain people. Obviously, they know that that guy is coming back to their home, meeting their parents, meeting in public, everywhere. So they actually develop a fear that again this will happen. If once this guy has touched him or her, they'll do it again. Or this girl has touched them here, and it is a fear of coming in the same space with that person, right? Either they'll disrespect, they'll go shout on you, or they'll show their anger in a way. The school performance, if they won't be able to study well, they actually feel because this will do rounds in their mind. They don't have that potential again back to going to the studies. Whenever they're sitting or doing anything, when they're active in a way, they can't concentrate, right? Bedwetting is one of the reason. Bedwetting, yes, it actually happens. Knowing more about sexual behavior than what is expected to a child of that age, yes. So sexual behavior, if a person of certain age knows that this is a behavior, this is wrong or this is right, so they know more about it. Now they know that this wrong or bad or unsafe thing has happened with them. So they'll go in a shell, they'll go in a space. Behavior will totally change. They won't be going out to play. They will be bound to sit in their room, cry over it, feel bad about it, They will be like, they want to be alone, in a way, if I say. And if we come to physical indicators, obviously there'll be an unexpected pain, bleeding, because you are not sexually active. There are many things which will come. There could be a sexual transmitted disease also, if certain person is having said anything. Pregnancy is one of the thing. And then you can't actually think right, so you'll have your headaches, you'll have your stomach ache, any like physical abuse is too much, is already, yeah, you can like see visible at times, but the main is behavior and how the psychological trauma has happened with the kid. So signs and indicators, we have to watch them very closely. As being parents, we have to see that what has happened or what not has happened. We have to be active for the kids all the time. So next is disclosure. It is the word used when it is revealed that child sexual abuse has occurred. It can be voluntary or involuntary. Now, this again is a thing that how and when a child is ready to disclose what has happened to him or her. And why would a child not disclose, or what is the problem, or what is, see, involuntary disclosure is when someone other than child reveals the abuse. Okay, so somebody else knows about it, somebody else has seen it, and that person comes and discloses it to the parents. So disclosure is a process. You can't say that, okay, today it happened and your child will come right away and tell you. It is like, you can't expect this from a child who's gone through a trauma, who's going through this process, who never imagined in his wild dream that this will happen. So sometimes the child will not talk. It is important to acknowledge to the child that he or she may have good reason to keep quiet, and then take action to answer the child's fear. Then we have to be active on it. If the child is fearful of punishment, so suppose if the child thinks that, okay, this has happened, now I'll be punished, right? Or I'll be the culprit. My parents will think I have done something wrong. Then the child will think that, okay, I'll be punished, or I'll be going through all this. Then it is difficult for a child to come and disclose. Feeling that way will not be believed. The most important thing is that the child will think that if I tell them, my parents won't believe. So we have to win over child's confidence first. So this is not that, okay, we'll wait for the child abuse to happen. We always in a daily life also have to win over child's confidence all the time. Being a parent, a child should feel comfortable to come and talk and tell anything and everything to you, be it father, be it mother, be it both. Thinking that the abuse was their fault. Again, this is very, very important. The child will think, okay, I did something wrong, or I went to that place, so this happened to me. So this is very important, that child will think that abuse was their fault. So that's why they won't come and disclose. Fear of punishment, as I said, fear of hurting their parents. Now the child will think, if I'll tell them that this happened, so my parents will be hurt. So that's the biggest thing. Like, we have to gain confidence that we won't be hurt, but we'll be there for them, with them every time. Keeping our emotions to ourselves at this point of situation is very, very important. Not wanting the police involved. Again, child will never disclose because they don't want that police to be involved. Worries about what people will say. Now that's very important. Child will think what others will say if I tell them that this happened with me. Being too young, if the child is too young to even understand what has happened with them, they want to come and tell you. They will think that this is something usual. When kids are very young, because these days I've seen very, very young kids, say about 9, 8, 9, or below that also, if we have seen the news. So this thing is happening. So child will think this is normal. They don't get it, what is happening with them. If somebody fondled with their genitals, they won't get it even. Thinking that it would not make any difference if they did tell. Now again, child will think that if I will tell my mother, father, it won't make any difference, because either the family member is too close, they won't take a step, or they won't ask anything, or they won't do anything, or either they'll think that they won't believe the child. Being threatened, that's the important thing. Being threatened, bribed. Again, they are threatened, or they are bribed that you won't tell this to anybody. Kids are threatened under this thing. Okay, what should you do if child discuss abuse? Again, what should we do? Remain steady and calm. So I, coming from a parent's point of view, if my kid tells me anything that is weird to me, or this that is which I am not okay with, I lose my calm. Personally, I'll say I lose my calm at times. But again, we have to be calm and steady. We can't show our emotion of fear or our emotion of sadness to them. We have to be very careful with that, with our emotions at that time. That if a child is coming and disclosing this, we have to be very, very like, we don't have to show any emotion. We have to be blank on our faces, or we can show love and care to them. That's it. We can't show our emotions that we are feeling fear, or we are upset, or we are angry that okay, this family member has done this. So we, like we generally do, we just go and, oh my god, this has happened, I'll kill this person, I'll do this to them. So we have to be in our boundary. We have to be very calm when the child is disclosing, because otherwise it'll backfire and things can go wrong. Believe in what they're saying. Again, we have to believe in what they're saying. We have to reestablish safety. We have to make sure about their safety. We have to tell them that yes, now you're in safe space, nothing will happen. Of course, kids will take time to believe, because earlier, if it is a family member, again, was a safe space, but still it happened. So we have to make sure that safety is there. Free them from self blame. Most important and first point. Tell them you haven't done anything wrong. It's not you. Self blame comes first to the kids' mind, so we have to make sure that they don't blame themselves, because if they do that, this is the one point where they start thinking about suicide or something. This is the seed of that thing, that they'll harm themselves, because we have to free them from self blame. Help in easing child communication. We have to be very easy with the child, so they commute with us. They can tell us everything and anything clearly. Vishali, we can go. What should I not do if someone discloses abuse? Okay. What should, as a parent, I should not do if a child discloses abuse? Do not blame the child. Again, we cannot blame the child any day. Do not blame yourself. This is what we do. We actually do this because we think that, okay, we never gave enough attention or enough time, or we left a kid with the family member or with a friend, and this happened. Do not ask them to ignore. Never tell their kids to ignore this thing. Because if we do it once, and by God forbid this happens again in future, the child will ignore, and this will become a pattern or a habit for the other person to abuse your child again and again. Avoid asking why questions. Never ask why questions. It is very, very important. Why did the child take a long time to come out and say this? Never ask them why they took time to come and tell you. This can make them feel more guilty, and instead they should be encouraged to disclose. We should encourage them to come and talk to us. We should not ask them to why they took time, or why this happened, or why. So avoid the why questions. Again, do not make any promises you cannot keep. Never tell them that okay, this secret is safe with me, because if you tell them and tomorrow you have to file a complaint and the child has to tell the story to the police or anybody, they'll never believe you again. Because tell them, you have to make sure that you clearly be there for them every time and anytime. Am I audible? Vaishali, am I audible? Okay. So what's next? Activity, right or wrong? Let's do the activity. Vaishali, will you take the activity?
Sure. So till now, we have discussed, like as ma'am has told, that what should we do, how we should handle the situation in case a child discloses abuse to us, and what we should not do, most importantly. So for now, like whatever ma'am has talked about, let us implement it practically in our day-to-day life. So we'll be presenting 8 statements to our audience today. And for this activity, I would highly encourage everyone to please either you can unmute yourself or you can switch on your camera if you feel comfortable. And please unmute yourself. Go ahead. So we'll be presenting 8 statements with everyone, and you need to tell us which course of action should be taken and whether the course of action taken was right or wrong. As we discussed right now so far, that there are certain do's and don'ts that we should do to minimize the damage on the child psychology. So let us now go ahead with the statements. So the first statement is, Rahul discloses that he has been abused by his teacher to his parents. They refused to believe him as his teacher is their good friend. Is this right or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong. Okay. Anybody else who would like to say anything, right or wrong? What do you think about the situation?
It's wrong.
Wrong.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Any other opinion you have, right or wrong? Okay. So as mentioned by someone, yes, it is a wrong. Why? Because as we just discussed previously, one of the first things we should do is that we should believe the child that yes, they have been abused, and we should stand by them. We should help them feel safe. So if we refuse to believe that the teacher, even though they are the good friend, they have abused their child, then that would essentially threaten the child safety and also make that child believe that they are in the wrong here, which is never the case. It's never the victim's fault. So we will go ahead with the next statement.
So it's upon knowing Sheila, who is Madhu's daughter, was raped. Madhu hits her and asks her to leave the house. Is it right or wrong?
Wrong.
So again, here is the thing where that when a daughter comes to mother and tells that she was raped, mother takes it in another way and she says that you have to leave the house. And this is a big thing when a daughter is confiding in her mother that she's been raped, she's been gone through so much. Mother is not understanding what happened to her or whatever. She took her wit out on her and asked her to leave the house. So these are kind of things we need to stay calm and think why it happened, how it happened, and anyhow any unfortunate thing has happened with our kids, we have to make sure that we are there for them. That's the most important thing. Vishali, we can go to next.
Okay.
Sana
So
discloses that she was inappropriately touched by her uncle. Sana's mother starts crying and blames herself for what happened instead of focusing on Sana. Is it right or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong. So again, we have taken up the points that we can't cry or we can't show our emotions in front of our kids if anything wrong has happened. And instead of not focusing on the right thing, we take it all on ourselves that, oh my God, this was her fault. Mother should have taken care of, or she actually blames her or Sana or your own kid that what this happened because of us. No, we have to make sure, we have to make child understand that this has nothing to do with them. They have not done anything wrong. The person who has done wrong should be punished. So again, we as a parent have to believe, have to be calm and steady when our child is disclosing to us.
okay, so here we have the next situation. Parth tells his father that his school teacher hit him with a belt. Parth's father first comforts him and goes to school the next day with him to talk to the authorities. Is it right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, again, as we see here, Path's father has been calm when he gets to know, when Path discloses that he has been abused by his teacher. And first, he comforts the child, he keeps the child's safety first and foremost. And then he goes to the school the next day to take appropriate step against the abuser, and then goes and talks to the authorities. So here, not only does he reaffirms that the child is safe, but also the very next day he believes him and he takes actions against the abuser. Okay, so here we have the next situation. Tanya tells her mother that her uncle takes her to the washroom and touches her inappropriately. Tanya's mother asks her not to tell this to anybody. Is this right or wrong?
Wrong.
Very wrong. Rather,
Yeah,
she should have
yeah, please go ahead. Yes.
taken child in confidence and comfort.
Yes, absolutely. As Swati said right now, that here the mother, like when a daughter goes to her mother and discloses that her uncle has done something inappropriate and touched her in the washroom, her mother, instead of trying to take step against the abuser, asks her not to tell this to anyone for the fear of judgment and shame from the society and other family members, instead of and telling her own child to ignore it rather than to take steps against it. So definitely it's a wrong action, and she should have taken some action to confront the uncle and reaffirm the safety of her own daughter.
Karan was inappropriately touched by a stranger in the train. She tells this to her parents. Okay, Kiran. Kiran's mother comforts her while her father complains to the authorities. Is it right or wrong?
Right.
Right. But no, too much action in suddenly. They should have first comforted the child. And both they could have gone genuinely to the. No, but then it is right also. I would go with right.
Okay, again,
Totally.
yes. So this is a hypothetical that what they did, what measures they took. Again, they would have comforted Kiran. They would have, then only they would have gone to the authorities again, agreed to that. So again, they have to put the right decision to make sure that they will talk to the authorities and they'll go ahead with comforting their child or whatever. Yes, in a kind, like it's not a explained situation if you say, but yes, it is the right way to do it. Okay, Mayank got bruises all over his body and didn't tell anything to his parents. His parents scolded him, hit him. Is it right or wrong?
Absolutely
Wrong.
wrong. Whether boys or girls, everyone should be like comfortable to tell their parents that whether I was in a fight, somebody did this to me. This is totally fault at parents.
Agreed. So again, parents scolded him, hit him. So as a parent, we should make sure that what we are doing is right because we are the parents. Again, I know that no parent is taught parenting. We learn as we grow with our kids, but still, we should believe. The first thing which I covered is believe in your child. We should have you should have talked to your kid, asked what is this, why you got bruises, how you got bruises. So it's always a good thing is to convert, to make a conversation with the kid, to make the kid comfortable in telling the reason or coming out to you.
So again, we have to make a bridge between you, yourself, us, and kids, so that it is easy to converse and ask them, or they should be open to tell you everything.
Okay, so as we see here, Rania is a very talkative girl, but for some days she has stopped talking. Her mother asks her, but she doesn't say anything and runs away. One day, Rania's mother decides to go to the school to see what has happened. Is it right or wrong?
Right,
Wrong.
right.
Not everything is mistake of school. You are not communicating to your child properly. Why did the child run away?
Right, because sometimes a child is not very open to the parents, and when a parent has no clue to know about things, they have every right to take a help of schools or friends of a child to know what's going wrong.
Okay, yeah, right. Because agreed. Because here, as we have talked about previously, that there are certain behavioral and physical indicators of abuse. So, one of the indicators of abuse is sudden change in behavior. So, for example, if your child is a very talkative girl, but she suddenly becomes quiet for no apparent reason, so there might be like that might be an indication that something is afoot, like something has happened. And as like discussed previously, that there are a number of reasons why a child might not disclose to her parents. Maybe she's afraid of what would happen, and she's of course traumatized, and and since it's a like a very young girl, they don't know usually what to do in that situation. So they don't know whether they should go to their parents, talk about it or not. So in that case, Rania's mother decided to go to the school and not ignore the sudden change in behavior of her child, and to see what has happened, to inquire whether something has happened. Because sometimes maybe she has suspected that maybe not in the house, maybe something has happened in the school. A lot of abuse can also happen in school as well, which the child may not be very comfortable in sharing with the parents. So yeah, definitely here Rania's mother has done the right thing to go to not ignore this sudden change of behavior and to investigate what has happened.
Okay, so now let's go to what are the effects of the abuse. So we'll go through a detailed thing that what all can be the effects. Feeling of powerlessness. Again, the victim can feel that I don't have that power over. Example, if the abuser is more in age, is senior to them, or anyhow physically powerful, so they feel that they're powerless, they couldn't stop that, they couldn't do anything of that. So this feeling is very 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 common. If it comes out very common that some kid or some younger person will feel powerless because they were abused and they couldn't do anything at that very point of time. Anger, you feel angry for your own self. You don't feel you feel angry on the other person, but you feel angry for your own self also, that you were the victim, it happened with you. It actually comes, this feeling comes that this happened to me, and you get angry on your own self. Fear, you are afraid, you get a lot of fear feelings, because again you don't feel, if it by chance, if it is a family member, close family member, close friend, or if it has happened inside of your the four walls of your house, you feel fear that you are not even safe in your own house. Increase anxiety goes to a next level, and anxiety is a long bigger term, very wide term. So anxiety have very bad side effects also. You feel palpitations and lot many things. So this increases sleeplessness, palpitations, breathlessness. So all this increases in a way, if it is prolonging or anything. Phobias, fears of specific. So again, if you have been touched, or if you have been abused with some object or certain thing, you feel fear, or if you have been abused in your own if you say living rooms, washroom, or some place like that, if your own room, some member came to your room, or some friend, or anybody, or your home tutor, anybody. So the place or the some objects or certain thing will actually bring that phobia in you. Nightmares, of course, you will be traumatized, so you will get nightmares. Difficulty in concentration, as we discussed, that you won't be able to concentrate on your studies, on your day-to-day life. It will hamper your entire life process. Difficult flashbacks of the events. Again, nightmares and flashbacks of the events will come to you every now and then, even if you're doing any activity, you're happy at some point of view, at some place, you're happy, you feel you're in a happy space, but still that flashback will come to you. Frequent vigilance of one's environment for fear of confronting the preparators. This I actually mentioned, that again, if the abuser is known to the family or known to you guys, and that person is coming to the again in the same space of where you are again and again, you will be you will get fear angry, or you will be really scared to be in the same environment where the person is. Long-term effects of abuse. Now this, as we discussed, physical and psychological effects, both of them are there. So long-term will be psychological problems, depression and anxiety will come over you. Psychomatic problems, continual unexplained illness. So either you'll be having a headache or continuously, or you will be having nausea or anything. You will be it will be a prolonged thing. Difficulties with the trust and intimacy in relationship. Again, going forward in future, it will be a difficult situation for you to move on in life, in your personal space, in your relationships, in getting intimate to your own partner or your like love being or anybody. So this will be a difficult situation for prolonged thing. These are the long term effects. If the child grows into a beautiful human, but in future, if you're getting intimate, these flashbacks will actually hamper you. Re-victimization, again, becoming a victim of domestic violence or further sexual abuse, or again, if you have been abused in your childhood, and in future, God forbid, if you are in an abusive marriage or in an abusive relationship, it will be very difficult for you. It will be like, again, you're reliving that part of your life again, and it is going to be a very, very bad. Suicide or suicide, this again, I mentioned that suicide attempts, this gives birth at that time only when you have been abused. You will feel bad about yourself, you will think that you are at fault, you have done everything, you will take it all on yourself, and these kind of thoughts will come to you. And kids actually try to they attempt suicides. Substance abuse, again, you will go into drugs, or you will drink, or any kind of substance abuse. This can happen in a long term run, if you say. Delinquency, again, stealing, breaking the law. This is also a very common factor here, that you actually your brain works like this, that you want to do something to keep your mind away from that very thinking. So you think that, okay, this is something bad that happens to me, now I am a bad person, so now I'll do something bad in future. Either you can be you can break the laws in many ways. You can steal things, as we say, kleptomaniac, or this thing. You can do these kind of things in future. Okay, what will you do now? You need to come up with action plans. Now you guys will tell me that what will you do if you are in certain situations. Vaishali, can we take the first situation? Okay, Raj is a middle school student. Say he is usually an outspoken and friendly child. But one day while coming home, he seemed very quiet and sad. When asked about what happened, he refused to say anything. What would you do as Raj's parents? So anybody who would like to take up?
If Raj refuses to speak to me as a parent, then I will try to know if anything happens around him or with him through his friend. If if I will try to get help from any source who can help me the insight what happens with Raj.
Anyone else want to contribute?
I would probably speak to Raj's school teacher and ask her if anything untoward happened that day, and whether maybe it could be a class performance, or whether there was a fight with any of his friends, or if something happened in the bus, if somebody knew. And maybe speak to Raj's friends, maybe his bus friends, whoever come home with him or travel to school with him, to find out if that happened, anything from the unusual. And again, I would try to talk to him in a different manner, and try and find out if something is unusually worrying him.
Correct. So as we see that Neena and Sujata have covered up the points, but like again, yes, we can reach school, we can reach teachers, we can reach friends. Again, the child will take time. While reaching all of them, we need to give Raj also a safe side and a very comforting time, so that he can build up a little confidence and come up and open to us. We need to make sure that not only just as mother, but a father also needs to participate and give your child a very safe hand, so that they can come up and talk to you. Yes, and we can obviously go to the school, teachers, authorities, everybody whom we can reach and dig out the information what is wrong with it. Let's go to the next one. So Manan is your friend's son, and you see a stranger talking to him and taking him to a secluded place. What will you do?
I will interfere and I will call Manan towards me, and I will try to take Manan home or wherever he wants to go. I will definitely try to intervene as soon as I see some strangers going near to Manan.
I would actually try and first inform Manan's parents and try to ascertain whether that fellow is really a stranger. And if it does seem that that fellow is a stranger, then I try to, yes, whatever she said is right, go and, try to be a part of both of their conversation and see, in a friendly manner, whether there is any suspicion of something wrong happening there. And probably then, in a diplomatic way, try to tell Manan, let's go home or something.
Right. So again, stranger can be, if that person is stranger to you, sometimes it is like they are not stranger to Manan or his family, but yes, we need to intervene and we need to inform the parents again. Next situation is your niece discloses an abuse to her parents, but they ask her to ignore it and not tell anyone. But she comes to you and tells you everything that happened to her. What will you do?
I will immediately take step to the abuser. I will first I will try to build the confidence of my niece that she can tell things to us, and then we will also inform it to the parents that they should take their child seriously also, but the abuser should be punished in front of my niece so that the broken confidence can be rebuilt.
Actually, this is a little tricky, because if you confront the parents who have already told the girl not to tell anybody, then she may get, curtailed from speaking to others or going out or something, or the parents may not like it. So I think in this situation, although it is a little tricky, maybe we could involve the school counselor or ask her to speak to the school counselor and then approach maybe a safer approach, because the parents may inhibit her from telling this to anybody else in the future, and then it'll become a problem for her. She will keep on compounding the abuse. So it's a little tricky.
Again, yeah, it is a tricky situation, and we need to handle with utmost care. If somebody else is coming and confiding in you, we need to watch that what step we need to take in a right manner, right? So talking to the parents won't be the first right step. I agree, because otherwise parents will restrict her to come to anybody, go to anybody and talk to anybody. But yes, we need to make sure that uh, we create a situation, or we talk to make like parent. We need to reach the parents first. Like reporting the abuse will be the second step. First, we need to convince the parents. We need to make a bridge between parents that they should not ignore this, because we need to make parents understand that if this is being ignored once, it can happen again. So this is where parents counseling through the school or through the general bodies like like today Pratisandhi, we are at Pratisandhi doing this. So these kind of places, these kind of people who come together, do parents counseling and all, we need to bring more and more parents in to listen to such topics, talk about this, gain more information on this. Because today sitting here, some of the parents are still will be struggling to talk to their kids about many things. So when we come to such counseling places, or we come together as parents, we get confidence and we learn from each other that what one parent viewpoint is could be good for the other parent. So when we come together, or when we go to a counselor individually or at the school counseling groups, it helps. It actually helps you to learn how to work on these such kind of situations. And again, running out of these situations is not a solution anyway. So next is Kyra used to love English, but since a new tuition has started, she has been averse of that subject. Kyra's mother sees some marks on her back and upper chest and chest. Upon asking, Kyra disclosed that her new tuition teacher hits her. What will you do? Okay, so me being a teacher, me being a mother, I have to address this issue very nicely. Firstly, that's a teacher. Okay, so teacher, when we teach our kids, when we tell our kids that teacher is your first, second god or something. Okay, teacher is something whom you should worship. That's what we teach our kids. And a teacher doing this to a child can bring much turmoil and brain damage to the kid. That, oh my God, because learning never stops. Kids have to go to school, kids have to go to college and learn throughout their life. And if a teacher is doing this, that's a big setback. First, we need to put the child in a best space, that we are with you, we are whatever space, best thing we can do, and we'll work on it. And let's talk to the teacher, let's see what happens. Go to the teacher, talk to. Being as a parent, you have to be active also in the things. Then go ahead, and if you feel like that it is worst of the situation, report it. Anyhow, don't feel like, because this has to be reported. You can't just say feel like, but you have to report such kind of situation. But you need to put your kid first in the safe space, and then you need to talk to that teacher. He or she must know that you are aware of what happened. Me being a parent, I'm a very, very, very active in such kind of things. I'll also inform the other students who are going to that teacher, to their parents, that this happened with my kid. So be aware, because if that teacher is doing this thing to one kid, it is the habit or the usual thing he do. So he must be doing the same to the other kids also. So we need to make sure that if we are keeping our kid in a safe space, we need to make sure that if this thing has happened, we should inform the other parents also to be aware of it. Because this can happen to any other kid also. Because being a teacher, somebody is doing this, his mindset is so sick that he can do it to other kids also. So apart from our kids, we have to make sure that other kids are also safe. This situation actually calls for you have to be very active, because you have to inform other parents also that this happened. And there's nothing to shy away that, oh my God, this happened with your kid. No, it's not your kid's fault. Nowhere your kid's fault, nowhere is your fault. It's the abuser who has done it. He should be shamed in public. He should be name called in public. That's what I feel. So every parent have a different way to take things over. But I will request every parent that you should inform what happened to other parents, so they can also be very careful with that teacher in future, because their kids are also going to the same place. Let's go to the next slide, Vaishali. Okay, what is POSCO? So POSCO is Protection of Child Against Sexual Offense. So it's a POSCO is the Protection of Child Against Sexual Offenses. Came into effect in 2012. It was enacted to provide a robust legal framework for the protection of children from the offenses of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and pornography, while safeguarding the interest of the child at every stage of the judicial process. So this is a judicial process where it is taken care of child abuse, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and pornography. So this was started in 2012, and it has a legal way to do how you can protect your child from all this. There's a legal process to follow under this. So now we'll see how we can file a legal complaint or how to go about it. So how to file a complaint? A police complaint is a narration of the facts and information that is given to the police. So again, first a police complaint. First you do a police complaint, then comes the FIR. That is recorded by the police. So complaint you give and FIR is recorded by the police. Inform. Usually you should go to the police station in the jurisdiction where the crime is committed. But this isn't always the case. Now in this, when it comes to child abuse complaint, it is not usually if theft has happened in certain, say if South Delhi, theft has happened in South Delhi. So we report in South Delhi jurisdiction only. No, but child abuse can be reported to anywhere, any jurisdiction, because this is how the law is made. You can report child abuse in any jurisdiction. It is not important that if it has happened in Delhi, so you have to report in a certain part of Delhi only. No. Written form. So you can give a written or oral police written complaint. You can write it yourself, or you can do it in a typing manner, whatever. Then read over. Police will read out the information they wrote if you provide the oral complaint. If you're giving an oral complaint, police will make sure that they read out the complaint properly and clearly to you, so you understand that yes, every point is being taken care of. Next is verification and signatures, stamp and complaint number. So you'll get the complaint number. You will be given a copy of the complaint. In some cases, you can file a complaint online also. Again, if it's a cyber crime, you can file a complaint online. If it is not okay with you to go out, you can still file a complaint online. There's a proper mechanism. You can type, write, complain, or send it to. Police may come to your residence. Police will come to your residence and do a follow-up, which will be a great help. Now, how to file FIR? FIR, again, complaint is different and FIR is different. Complaint is you making the complaint. FIR is what police is going to jot down and go ahead with the complaint. Filed by the police offenses after a complaint is filed. So this is filed once you file the complaint, then the police will file an FIR. 0 FIR is enough. FIR filed at any police station. Again, I told you it's regardless of jurisdiction of the crime. For the child abuse, no jurisdiction or anything is actually viewed in this case. Usually it is urgent and serious cases which are later sent to the police station of the jurisdiction where crime happened. You can go to any police station, file an FIR, file a complaint, they'll write the FIR, and then the further case can be taken in under what is where your jurisdiction or where the crime is happening. Sets the investigation process in motion. FIR sets the investigation process motion in quick motion. After complaint, FIR actually makes it quicker. No police officer can refuse to file an FIR unless it is a non-cognizable offense. No police officer can refuse to write a FIR for you in child abuse cases. How to report a? Next is how to report a cybercrime. Now, cybercrime, again, I told you, cybercrime is bullying, slut shaming, whatever. It can be of any form which is done online or on social networks or anywhere where you can't see the face. You just know a certain ID or certain name. Inform your local police station, you can do that, or you can write a complaint and send it to over. You can read your comment. Again, you can read your comment and then they'll write it, and orally then they'll tell you verification and signature will be done, stamp and complaint number will be issued, and your copy will be given to you. You can also, there is a site now. Vaishali, next slide, please. Yeah. So now there is an online site. This is done by the Government of India. This is a site where you can go online and report an cybercrime. We have done the process. There also you can file a complaint. You can open the site, go file a complaint for yourself, for your thing, and then for further they'll take it and then create your login ID, user ID and everything, and you put your phone number, and thereafter the complaint will be taken care of. You can find all the details under this, and then they go ahead with the complaint. The police will take up from here. The cybercrime branch will take up. Now, procedure for recording the statement from the child. Now, this is a very sensitive and very important. What is the procedure when they record child's complaint? Where the child's statement must be recorded. So, most important is there are incidents where the child's statement must be recorded. So, we'll discuss it in length. By whom should the statement should be recorded? Again, a very big question, that who will record, who will take the recording, and who will initiate questions to the kid. What steps must the police take to protect the child? Police must take steps. What are the steps? We'll discuss. What measures must be taken to record the statement of a child with disabilities? Again, there is another aspect, that if a child have certain disabilities, there are certain steps which you need to be taken. Strategies for preventing abuse. So if we go back to the slide where the child statement must be recorded and all that, in this, if I go in a length of breadth of things, so there are certain special officers who are appointed to take to record the statement. They are child psychology learned. They make sure that they take child in confidence, and they go with the process. They don't ask you harsh questions. They do it in a very subtle manner. They can ask you to get the child to the station, or they can come to your house in a protected environment, and the child statement can be recorded. So it is not important that child has to go to the certain police station and make things more bad for the child. Again, police will make sure that they come in the civil dresses. They won't come in uniform, so that the child doesn't get scared or something, or he or she thinks that, oh my God, what is happening? So, and when it is a child with the disabilities, again, special people are appointed, special team is made who make sure that your child is in a safe hand and everything is going in a safer manner. So everything in this manner is done very, very, very nicely. There is no hush hush, and there is no way that child will be more scrutinized or anything. Whatever child wants to tell will be taken in a nice manner, and they will make sure that they note down or jot down everything that is being told to them regarding the complaint. So now strategies for preventing abuse. Now this, there are a lot many strategies. Again, how as a parent can you prevent the abuse? There are pointers. I know that nobody can predict something or future or anything, that what will happen, or you can't like doubt anybody who's a nearer and dearer to you. You can't doubt anybody, right? So there are certain points which we can just take care as a parent, which we can just be vigilant about. Strategies for preventing abuse. Educate yourself about child sexual abuse. Here what we are doing is educate yourself. So these kind of sessions, these kind of things when we hold, so these are things that we are educating ourselves. Today we are sitting here and we are learning all this because we want to educate ourselves to create a safe space for our kids, to prevent any certain situation, or to how to go about it when we are in a bad situation. So these kind of sessions and these kind of things, or reading about it from the right sources. Again, I'll come to the right source, because we can't just Google how to keep our kids safe. No, Google is completely a search engine. Google doesn't give you any right information all the time. It's a search engine. You have to have the right place to get the right education about it. You need to know where you need to learn. As a parent, how can you help your child in such situations? Teach your children 3 safety rules. Again, there are a lot many safety rules, but you have to teach your children main 3 safety rules: safe, unsafe, and or how they have to behave in certain situations. They have to run, they have to shout, they have to make sure that the body part they are being touched is not the safe place anybody can touch them. Encourage open communication. You have to encourage open communication with your kids at every point, not just about the abuse, but general things also. Every day-to-day life, you have to be very open in communicating with your kids, because it is very, very important. If you do it on a daily basis, then such situations can be avoided. Because if anybody is just trying also, your kid will tell you that this person was trying to do this. So you can prevent such things. Practice online safety. Again, you have to tell your kids that once they are on the social media or online anywhere, how they have to deal with the things. So me being a parent, I've told my kids that if you post anybody's picture, any friend or any family member, you post without seeking permission, that is a crime. So I use very strong words with my kids. So I completely tell them that if you use anybody's picture, posting anybody's picture online with you or alone, that you have to seek permission. So today my daughter asks me, or she actually says me that, mom, don't post my picture, otherwise I'll report you only. So we have to make sure that we are teaching our kids the right thing. We have to be open to them, and we have to tell them right. When when my daughter went on social media, I made sure that all the social media handles that she's going to, say Facebook, say Instagram, say Snapchat, we need to follow certain legal age. Facebook says 18 years, and I have seen 10 years kids on Facebook. Sorry, parents are doing it. I gave my daughter Snapchat and Instagram at 13 years because she turned 13. Now she can have it because legally they both have 13-year set. So please, if we start practicing the same thing, and if we tell them go by the law, they will go by the law from very beginning. So we need to set boundaries for them also, like, but in a very friendly manner, to explain them. Just tell them. I told my kids that we'll do legally. So they came on the legal age time and said that, mom, now I'm 13, I need this. Now I'm this, I need this. Okay, do it. Even if they are watching any content on Netflix or any other place, I tell her to watch the age and then play. Otherwise, don't play. Because kids these days, she said, my friends suggest this, but it is 18 years. I said, sorry. If she's seen, I don't want you to see, because it's not, you are not 18 yet. You can't watch it. So please make sure that you talk all this very openly with your kids and tell them very clearly. Again, here I will tell you, if we talk about open communication, we only have make this thing that we shy away in using certain terms with our kids. When we teach our kids body parts, we talk about eyes, nose, ears, lips, everything. Then why we tell them that this is why we call breast breast? Why can't we call vagina vagina? Why can't we call penis penis? So make sure when you talk about body, safe touch, back touch, you name the certain body part and tell them that this body part needs not to be touched by anybody. So let's just be quite open with our kids. So today my teen and preteen both know what body part we need to talk about, what is safe and what is not safe. So please make sure as a parent you talk about every, if you will shy away in future, this will come back to you because this actually going to happen. If they're learning about sex going further, they need to know the right body part name because this will help them in safe sex also in future. So we need to teach our kids in future, we need to teach our kids about safe sex also. So we need to be very open with our conversations with the kids. Next is sanitization of child about body and personal safety. Again, here is the thing I was telling you, that teach children proper names for all body parts. As I mentioned, please don't say that, oh my God, between the legs or chest or upper chest. No, name the body part correctly for the kids to understand. Teach them to bathe, toilet and dress themselves starting at an early age. Very, very important. If you tell them to bathe themselves, use the washroom, dress themselves on their own at a very early age, they'll learn and they'll see how their body is growing. They'll grow with their body. And it is very, very important for them to see their body parts grow in a well manner. Teach that privacy, modesty, personal behaviors are boundaries, and boundaries are important. Again, you have to teach them that your privacy is your privacy. Today, I can't touch my daughter's phone without her permission because I believe in privacy. She can't touch my phone, I can't touch. It's not only that mothers can touch the daughter's things and the son's things and they cannot. So privacy is to be maintained both ways. If I tell them that not to open my cupboard, then I won't open their cupboard too. So we need to teach them privacy from early age so that they are, this will actually lead your kids to open up to you more in a more appropriate way. Personal behaviors, yes, personal behavior needs to be watched. They should be exchanging all everyday routine things with you. They should be saying thank yous and sorries at the right time. You should say thanks and sorry to them every time. So even if I am seeking help from my daughter on a daily basis in kitchen or anywhere, I say thank you and you have to say thank you. If you expect them to say thank you and sorry, it goes both the ways. Teach them that it is not okay for anyone to invade their privacy or boundaries. As I said, it's not okay for anybody to come into their private space. Tell them clearly that they have all the right to voice out if anybody, be it friend, be it family, be it mother, be it father, anybody comes in your personal space where you don't feel comfortable, voice it out. Don't keep yourself just that, okay, this person is elder to me, I can't say this. No, because right and wrong doesn't see the age or status of the person. So please be very vocal with your kid to tell them that if anybody enters your personal space, you have to voice out. Let your child know that saying no is okay and the right thing to do. Again, you have to tell your child saying no at certain point is very much okay. We keep teaching our kids that, okay, if elder is saying something, don't talk again, don't reciprocate or don't answer back. No, at some point of time we need to tell them that, okay, sometimes elders are not right, so they have to say right, yes or no at certain point of time. So teach them in a very subtle manner, and if you start giving these lessons at the early age, it will be like when your kid is a teenager or growing teen or moving out of the teen, they will be in a very good position to manage things in future. It'll help a lot. That's what from my personal experience, I can say. So next is, what can be the ways we can start talking to our kids about topics around comprehensive sexuality education? Again, there are many try to be their friends. Firstly, again, I'll say that open conversations will help you a lot. Try to be their friends. Start taking interest in their lives. You have to take interest in their lives, that what is happening in their life. Again, daily, day-to-day conversations are very important with the kids. You ask them what you did at school, what happened, what is this friend, what is this happening with this guy or this girl, what is your take on if certain friend is doing this. So start taking interest in their lives, not only just study on the studies, but other things also. If a child is having a school party or if, anything, mm, be part of it. Talk to them what they want, what are they looking for, what exactly they'll be doing at the party. So be very active in their lives. Talk about movies, talk about series they are watching, talk about situations happening around. You can start by what you do if you were in XYZ's place. You can actually talk about agar, if you are at that space, what will you do? So your child will understand that, okay, this can be done also. Because obviously child have their own set of things, that this, in this situation, I can do only this. So you have to talk and tell them that if you are at such position, what will you do? Try to keep an open conversation, and always try to cater to their questions, whatever the question they ask. So don't be afraid that, oh my god, my child will ask me what is this, what is a breast or what is a vagina, and I won't be able to answer. Or what is sex, I won't be able to answer. No, please be open to it, talk to them. Do it age appropriately. Every age have different aspects, and every age will learn in a different manner. So you also make sure that at a 11-year kid is coming to you, so what answer you have to give, and if a 18-year kid is coming to you, what answer you have to give. So in every age, you have to make sure that your answers grow with their group, right? Start teaching them about the consent since young age. This is very important. Since 6 years of age, you should teach your kids what is a consent. Very important. Consent needs to be in their mind, in their blood from 5 or 6 years of age. You don't need to wait for 11 years or 13 years, your child will turn and then you will tell them to consent. No, because these days things are progressing like day by day. The kids are going like everywhere, and things are progressing in such a manner that fourth, fifth, sixth standard girls and boys know so much without even told by their parents. They know so much. They have so much information, access to so much information thanks to the internet. If they are making any boundaries towards you, respect that. Today only, I am using my daughter's laptop today. So she made that she removes some files and keep in a safe manner. And I asked her why, because she said, I don't want you to see it. I said, okay, I won't. Because again, we need to maintain certain boundaries. If she doesn't want me to see certain pictures or certain stuff which she doesn't feel comfortable, I'll give her space. But again, being a parent, I'm a very inquisitive parent. I want to see what is she going like. Obviously, being a parent, I need to see if nothing wrong is going on. Then I won't look into behind her, but I will try to talk out with her and try that she will show me herself. So this I have done in past also, and she always comes to me and tells me everything again. So this again I'll do. I'll talk out with her. I'll sit with her and tell her, please show me, and she'll show me. Because so we need to play around and we need to be very careful. Again, if my child is saying that I don't want to show you certain folder, I'll be inquisitive as a child, as a mother. I'll be very much worried that what the hell is there that she's not showing me. So I'll take my time. I'll give her time. I'll sit around. I'll talk for 2-3 days around this topic only. That what was there? What you were hiding? What was there? What you were hiding? Then one fine day she'll get bored of it and she'll get sick of it and she'll say, "Come, mama, I'll show you, because you won't leave my behind for this." So we need to be very much careful. We need to respect their boundaries. Again, play with the things. Tell them what if you don't need this. Games with the child if necessary, and let them practice saying no. Again, play with your games, play with your child, and tell them saying no is very important. Saying no at certain point is important. And if you feel that they're saying no at the wrong time when you don't need to listen to that no, teach them that also. That okay, with your mom and dad, things are different. But with anybody on the planet, anybody else on the planet, and name it, anybody on the planet, you have to say no when it is required. By role playing with children, you'll help them develop the skills they need in certain situations. Again, if you role play with your kids, they'll develop the skills they need in for future. I guess we have taken up a lot. Next, Vaishali, you can take it from here.
Well, that was a very intensive and wonderful session regarding what, as a parent, a person can do to prevent child sexual abuse, and also how to educate not just ourselves but also our future generations as well regarding this. So, anybody from the audience would like to have any questions they would like to ask ma'am or us? Anyone, please go ahead. Anything you would like us to revisit or clarify on more, talk about more, since we talked about a lot of technical topics as well, such as the POXCO Act or how to file a complaint and etc. etc. So please, anybody, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead. Anyone?
Hi, I have a question. So I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and their parents are not comfortable with them to talk about sex education or safe and unsafe touch. But whenever I try to initiate a conversation, it feels that I'm overstepping the boundaries, and I might be, involving myself a little too much because their parents are not comfortable. So, how to proceed in this case? Like, how should I ensure that my niece and nephews are well aware about this situation, about their body parts?
Hi, Sonal. So, Sonal, very good question, because I've come across certain people who don't want to talk about it as parents. Uh, Firstly, I think, have you tried speaking to the parents?
Yes, I did. In fact, I do motivate them to, take up a session or talk to a sex educator. I'm so sorry. I do encourage them to talk to people, to sex educators, and learn how to talk to the children, to their children, but they just don't seem interested.
Okay. So, what one can do here is, if the parents are, again, if the parents are not interested, or they are hushing away the topic, what we can do, you can do, is you can speak to their school counselor. And I'm sure schools these days have lot many programs to educate and to give special counseling sessions for the kids over sex education. And secondly,
Mhm.
you being a very active member of the family in this area, you can any day seek permission of the parents and speak to the kids as well in a very friendly manner. In fact, I guess, if it will come from you being younger to their parents, they'll be more happy to talk to you, more open to share with you also, if you are a very
Mhm.
active member in the family. And yes, school counseling will surely help, because what I see, I have attended certain sessions and counseling sessions at school with my for my kids, and they are really helpful.
Okay, that's
Okay,
that's
if the
helpful.
parents are not ready to get into the space, school should surely and can surely help. And if you are a
Mhm.
very active family member and you are very pally with the kids, go ahead, tell the parents very clearly, you have to step down on this, you have to tell the parents clearly that I am taking up this topic for your kids, and I'll make sure that they are well learned in this manner.
Okay.
See, these kind of topics are sensitive, but again, either the parents or the school or some elder, must take a step on this. We should not wait for anybody else to take a step, or we should not give chance to anything wrong should happen. We should, if we are well aware of topics and we are very much onto this, we should go ahead and take this. Today I am sitting here, I am doing this because I wanted to do this. I was very clear that I want to share my things and my points and everything with the kids, and this will continue. I guess Pratisandhi has been very helpful, and I will love to continue this in future, and maybe in future we'll do certain things in person also rather than doing online.
Yeah, definitely. The
Thank you
session
so
was
much.
very insightful. Thank you so much.
Anybody else would like to ask any other question? We will be taking like one more question, and then after that we'll be wrapping up the session for today. So if anybody would like to clarify anything else, please feel free to go ahead. All right. So then shall we wrap up the session for today? So, okay, perfect. So if anybody also has like any other doubt, we do, like at Pratisandhi, we do have our own social media handles. You can reach us out on Instagram or Facebook or any other social media platforms that you are on. And of course, today's wonderful session regarding, like about how as a parent, we can help regarding preventing child sexual abuse, because usually the people, like the victims, are very very young to take care of themselves, and as a society, the burden of responsibility falls onto us as to how we can create the safe spaces for us. So with that, I would like to thank ma'am for today's wonderful session. It was extremely informative and enjoyable, and really very heartwarming to see also, to get the guidance from someone who is already a parent, and to like encourage sexual, like talk about sexual education, and to break the taboo with us. And of course, we are also looking forward to much more, many such sessions, both online and offline, of course. So with that, I would like to end the meeting for today. Ma'am, you have anything else to say?
No, I just want to thank you and thank parents who have come up, and I'm sure it will help a lot. And we look forward to more such sessions because this needs a very larger audience to get information about it. And thanks to Pratisandhi for making me part of it. I hope every parent is taking something back home from this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.